Guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Praymore, and in this video, I'd just like to share with you what led me to starting my own channel. And I also hope to encourage someone out there who'd like to use one platform or another to start voicing themselves out and making impact in someone's life. And I know it might not be YouTube for you, it could be anything, it could be speaking to someone, holding conversations. So I hope this video is going to be useful to you. I hope you enjoy. So I was watching a video by Angelina Jolie, which she said something that really stood out for me.
This path in life, and why across the world there's a woman just like me with the same abilities and the same desires, same work ethic and love for her family, who would most likely make better films and better speeches. Only she sits in a refugee camp, and she has no voice.
And that just made me mindful of what I have. There's someone out there who is probably struggling for a place to sleep and who does not have the same resources that we have, the same resources that I have. And that just made me start to think about how I'm using what I have to be helpful to someone else. And for me, it's YouTube. I knew that I wanted to hold conversations with people, and I felt like there was something that I could add to someone's life just by having a conversation with them. So the first thing that I had to realize was that I am in a position of influence. I'm in a position to make impact in someone's life. And I was concerned at first. It wasn't an easy decision to make. And I spoke to a friend of mine and told him my concerns, and he said, do not underestimate what you have to say, which is the second thing that I hope you also realize. Don't underestimate what you have to say. And he said certain information is readily available to us. You know, we have exposure to different kinds of platforms, but because someone else doesn't have it, it's new to them. So you could be asking yourself, well, who's going to want to listen to me? What am I even going to say in the first place? But to someone else, that piece of information could be life-changing. It could be that one thing that they need to make the change that's going to help their lives become better. So don't underestimate what you have to say. And the third thing is you must fight against perfectionism, because at one point you have to realize that it's not realistic, and this is something that has hindered me before. The fact that you don't have certain resources, for instance, like if you're a YouTube creator, you'll be thinking of, I don't have the right lighting, I'm not in the right location, I don't have the correct gadget to use. And these are all legitimate concerns, because I for one know that I don't want to create poor quality videos. I don't want to create poor quality content that I'm going to look back at one day and think, what was I doing? But at the same time, you're never going to start if you want to wait for those perfect things to align, because they might not even align ever. So just fight against perfectionism, because it's a hindrance to you starting. And these are things you can always work on. In the long run, you're going to get the camera you need. You're going to improve and move from the place where you were at the beginning, and that's one of the most encouraging things. You're not going to stay where you are. I had to make a decision to focus on the content I'm creating versus the production of that content, because it's something that I'm still working on, and you can do the same. You always grow into it. And yeah, I hope that helps you out. And the next thing is, don't try to control people's responses to what you do, because that's something that's completely out of your reach. And I used to have a challenge of always trying to stay in the middle, always trying to say things that are going to be neutral with everyone, and that doesn't work. Something that helped me out was realizing that as soon as as soon as you take your stand, as soon as you voice something out, you automatically stand the risk of offending someone. So like, no matter how hard you're going to try, someone is always going to be offended with what you say. In the few minutes that I've spoken, I know I've probably said so many controversial things without even intending to do so. So that can stop you, because especially with social media platforms, negativity is readily available to you. So that's something that you have to prepare yourself for as well. And the next thing is, learn by making mistakes. And this one is a very difficult one, because this is a public space. Many people have access to this. And first of all, apart from the fact that you can get backlash from people, you also don't want to mislead people. If you're someone who gives advice, for instance, you don't want to say something that you're going to regret one day. But at the end of the day, you have to you have to realize that you don't know as much as you think you know. You're still learning, and you can always correct yourself if you've said something wrong. For instance, you've released a video where you made insensitive or ignorant comments. You can always revise it, so you must be willing to correct yourself. You must be willing to receive correction, because it's not a platform for you to just tell people things. You're also here to learn. There's a lot that you can grow in the process of creating content for people. So it's not only those who are watching your videos who are going to learn. It's not only those who are there to reach that are going to learn from you. You learn from everyone in the process. So be willing to correct yourself and just be transparent and open with it. And the last thing is you need to realize that starting is the most important decision, and you need to start before you feel ready, because you might never feel ready to do anything. So at this moment, I didn't feel like I'm ready to start making YouTube videos, but that's how you start. As soon as you start, the next one becomes easier and easier and easier, and the quality becomes better and better and better. And you also get the practical aspect of it. I feel like you get a new appreciation of content creators because you know exactly how much work goes into it. So the most important decision is to start. And I hope this challenges someone out there. If you've been procrastinating and if you haven't started doing something you've been intending to do, I hope that this encourages you to start. And if this doesn't particularly apply to you, please share it with someone else who might appreciate this information. And if you have any suggestions of topics that you'd like us to discuss, please leave them in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next video, bye.